get killed in a world war.
Oh, so you do care about people dying.
I said that at the beginning.
But you
I care about.
You're a hypocrite. If you cared about
Break
people
now.
dying,
Break
if you
now.
cared about people
Break
dying, thousands of people
now.
are dying today
Break.
in Sudan.
Now remember Fiona Lali, a young activist who was in the news and whose video, when we carried it, it just went viral. In that video, she was seen holding up a mirror to Suella Braverman and calling her a war criminal and a liar. Not many people have the guts to do that. And she said that on a right-wing channel, GB News. Now she's in the news again. She went on a talk TV show hosted by two jokers basically, James Whale and Ash. These are basically jokers. I mean, if you have watched their shows, then you would know that they even cross the limit of racism. And they are deeply, deeply offensive to anybody who has a different opinion than them. And they're particularly nasty to guests supporting Palestinian cause. So Fiona Lali appeared on that show, and what happened is that she was kicked out. She was kicked out. And I'm not saying that. She has tweeted that she was kicked out of that show after she pointed out the hypocrisy of these two people.
The British government, which is supporting and facilitating a genocide right now, are responsible for conflict, because it's true.
Why don't you want to live in a communist country? Why don't you want to live in a communist?
There is no communist country for me
if
to
you
go.
Don't, hang on, just a minute. If you don't like living in this country, which obviously you don't, why don't you go and live somewhere where it's better than Britain? You've slagged us off.
Why would I live somewhere else when
because
I can
obviously
change
you don't like this country.
Because I can. Why would I live somewhere else when I can change the country that I live in?
You can't change this country.
Okay.
You won't change it.
Well, let's wait and see, because the truth
the
is
wokeists are going,
there are so
and
many
we are getting
people,
back to how we used to be.
The defining feature of politics in this country is that young people hate the political establishment. They hate the status quo.
I have been young.
It's not all about young people. Why do you think young people have more of a say?
It's not just young people. The majority
you think young people are more important.
The majority
of people don't agree with you.
The majority
and you just
of
laugh
people
a lot.
in Britain don't support what the government is doing in Gaza.
Why do you think this is funny, by the way?
They don't support.
If you had a sensible and serious face, I'd take you more seriously. But you smile, and you're doing it now throughout what I think is one of the most dangerous times. I think we are on the verge of the Third World War.
Right.
And I don't consider people like you will be of any use whatsoever, because you get called up to go to the forces, you won't go, will you?
I don't think we're on the verge of the Third World War.
Well, I think we are, particularly with people who are behaving in the way you are.
Funny.
But it's funny, is it? It's funny. Do you know how many people get killed in a world war?
Oh, so you do care about people dying.
I said that at the beginning.
But you're
I care about.
You're a hypocrite. If you cared about people dying, thousands of people are dying today in Sudan.
This video is quite problematic in many ways. First of all, this has become a trend across the world, particularly in countries where authoritarian regimes or authoritarian governments are in place. We have seen that in India. I have seen that in India, and I have seen elsewhere as well. In India more closely, that if you criticize the policy of the government, if you criticize the ruling party, then you will be immediately accused of being anti-national, and then you will be asked to leave the country. In my case, I've just spent 8 years in India before coming here, and I was a vocal critic of Modi. I was the one who broke the news on Rafale scam, which is a multi-billion-dollar corruption scandal in defense purchases by Narendra Modi. I was the one who broke that news at personal risk. It prompted the supporters of Narendra Modi to issue death threats to my son. So I was advised by my local MP to immediately leave the country and come here. So I've seen that. I have seen what happens. That when you criticize the government and they don't have any answer to your questions, then they will immediately label you as anti-national and ask you to leave the country. So that's exactly what these two jokers are telling Fiona Lali, that if you are not comfortable with us supporting a genocidal regime, then why don't you leave the country? They are not apologetic over the fact that this country, where I thought the human value which stood for humanity, this country is blindly supporting a genocidal regime of Israel. And there are supporters on a TV channel, national TV channel, like these two jokers who are absolutely fine with that. So they are advising this young girl to go and settle in somewhere, some other country other than this. Why should she go there? I think the right answer would have been that I'm absolutely fine being here. I will continue to raise my voice because this is my country as much as this is yours. If you are not comfortable being challenged because of your support for a genocidal regime, then why don't you move out of this country and settle in those countries where genocide is absolutely okay. Committing genocide is okay. I have a problem with anybody, any right-minded person going and appearing on their TV channels, because you are literally contributing to their financial successes. No, otherwise nobody watch their channels. Nobody watch their channels. Only when people from this side, from our side, go and appear, suddenly you will see a spike in their in the views of their YouTube videos, and they monetize those videos, and that's what contribute to their successes. That's what helped these channel owners to pay a lot of money to these jokers as presenters. So my advice to Fiona Lali is that she's a wonderful girl, and I think she's quite bright and quite sharp. Please do not go on these channels. Do not. And then they are mocking her. They are mocking her. If you see, one guy is asking a question, then the other guy is making facial expression in a bit to mock her.
It's funny, by the way.
They don't support.
If you had a sensible and serious face, I'd take you more seriously. But you smile, and you're doing it now throughout what.
Now, that's what my second problem is, that how is that okay with the Ofcom? I know Ofcom is dead. I know Ofcom has become a butt of joke. But still, how is that okay, Ofcom? There are two jokers in the guise of presenters are intimidating a young guest. Doesn't matter whether she's a young guest or old guest. I think anybody appearing on a TV channel should have the sense of comfort and security of not being intimidated by any jokers. The presenter need to behave like presenter, not like thugs. And when you don't agree, there should still be a nice way to end the conversation. You can't just bully her. You can't just heap insult on her by abruptly cutting her off. And look at the expression. Break, break, break.
World War.
Oh, so you do care about people dying.
I said that at the beginning.
But you're
I
lying.
care about.
You're a hypocrite. If you cared about
break
people
now.
dying,
Break
if you
now.
cared about people
break
dying, thousands of people
now.
are dying today
break.
in Sudan.
Quoting that video, Fiona comes and tweets that she was abruptly kicked out of the show because she pointed out the hypocrisy of these two people. To say that, look, I thought you don't care about people getting killed, but you don't care about people getting killed as long as they're Palestinians. Otherwise, you do care. And that's why you're talking about the impact of potential third world war on human lives. So, Ofcom really has to get its act together, because this is just getting out of hand. And we are in the election month, or election period. I think the role of Ofcom becomes even more important right now, before United Kingdom becomes just like any other third world country. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways you can support independent journalism. God bless you all.